Today, we talk about the devastating potential of the 12 gauge shotgun. Welcome back to Sector 7. Today, we're gonna do a little love letter to shotguns. Just to let my shotgun boys and girlies know that they're relevant too, their lives matter too. This isn't for me to say that the shotgun is the best home defense platform on the planet, but it is to say that for the cost to performance quotient, it's very difficult to beat a good modern pump action shotgun. Before we get into it, I want to talk about a little bit of housekeeping. I want to acknowledge the fact that I haven't posted in 9 months, and I really want to thank everybody who has held on to their subscriptions in that time frame and kind of explain what got us here. All right, so about 2.5 years ago or so, a buddy of mine got together and we got the harebrained idea that we were going to try to start a gun tube in order to kind of flex our artistic muscles a little bit and see where it takes us. We both had a lot of firearms, enjoyed shooting, and just really wanted to see what we could do with the Sony A7. And after 10 videos or so, we got a pretty good amount of traction. However, all good things must come to an end. My cameraman had to move on to other opportunities, running his family business, and it kind of left us dead in the water. Now, I've got nothing but love for my boy here. He had to do what he had to do, but I didn't want to downgrade the fidelity of my videos and turn into some guy in his basement with an iPhone until I was able to set up the proper media apparatus to give you at least a little bit of quality content. For anybody who has liked and subscribed, it helps immensely. We are a tiny operation here, completely self-funded. We haven't been bought and paid for by any other companies. We don't fall under some big conglomerate like Leviathan Group, and we're definitely not media plants, right? I'm just a guy who likes shooting, ex-military, has his own little shooting range that I spent years building, and I wanted to share some of my knowledge and passion with you. Moving on to the meat of the video. Let's talk about shotguns today. When it comes to devastating terminal performance and close range, the shotgun can't be beat. FBI statistics state that it's the highest percentage of one-shot stops of any firearm out there to this day. For anybody who's trying to work themselves into a budget and still have a very capable platform that has the ability to defend both home and community, you still can't go wrong with a nice, reliable pump action. In my hands here today, I'm holding a Remington 870, and here on the table, I've got the even more budget option, which is just the Mossberg Maverick 88. The total amount combined for both of these firearms costs less than a standard Glock off the rack, and that's something to consider. Now, am I saying that the shotgun is the best home defense option that you can possibly come up with? No, not necessarily. I suggest when it comes to home defense, you utilize the platform that you're most effective with and most comfortable with. In many cases, it might be an AR-15. But let's keep in mind that this LMT Spec War right here costs 15 times as much in its full layout, current configuration, as this Remington 870. That's a lot of a buy-in, right? So you can walk into a gun store and walk out with an 870 for sub $300 still to this day. And this Mossberg Maverick 88, which I just got recently, was a whopping $180, all right? Additionally, shotguns have the ability to flex to different roles for different goals, right? You can hunt small game with them. You can hunt fowl with them. You can hunt everything all the way up to grizzly bears with them if need be. And that's a lot of performance to squeeze out of a package that only costs a couple $100, right? So real quick, we'll talk about my build. Fucking we'll go tip to butt here. So this is a Remington 870 standard edition. I'm pretty sure it's the Express. It doesn't say so on the side, but it doesn't say anything else special on the engraving either. It is equipped with a Surefire 918 FA fore-end, which I will let you know is 20 years old and puts out a very respectable 65 lumen light with about negative candela. Working on upgrading that right now to a Malkov light. They do sell on their website a light that will bring this fore-end into the modern configuration. I personally do recommend having a dedicated light fore-end for any home defense shotgun rather than trying to cobble together separate light combination. But I will say as well, this fore-end cost almost as much as the shotgun did. So there's something to be said for form over function, right? If I'm going to get myself into a life-threatening self-defense situation, I desperately want to look cool while doing it, right? For those who are a little bit more budget-minded, it might make a little bit more sense to buy the Streamlight HL Racker, which costs about half as much as this and comes right out of the gate with more capability. But it's ugly as sin, and if I'm gonna die well-dressed, right? The original inspiration for this particular shotgun came from 2004's Dawn of the Dead. Officer Kenneth Hall, when he first appears under that bridge, saving the main character, Abby, or whatever her name is, he is rocking an 870 with a wood stock in this same exact fore-end configuration. Unbeknownst to me, up until now, stocks are not really a one-size-fits-all solution, so I did buy a wood stock in order to directly clone the firearm from that movie, but it turns out that the set screw for this polymer stock doesn't fit the screw for the wood stock. So I do think in the future I'm going to absolutely ruin this shotgun by drilling and tapping the receiver, putting a little red dot on it, popping that wood stock on, painting it up, making it look all apocalyptic, maybe wrapping it in some athletic tape and stuff, and turning it into a little bit of a sideshow. And in doing so, you know, show a little bit of my artistic side, a little bit of my creative side. That being said, however, shotguns are effective just right out of the gate. Now, there are some differences, some key differences that I want to talk about real quick between the Mossberg line of shotguns and the Remington that might affect your decision to choose one over the other. Now, when it comes to the Remington's shell lifter is constantly engaged in a downward position, meaning that in order to load around, you have to defeat that shell lifter before pushing your round into the tube and racking it, getting ready to go. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Mossberg series of shotguns have no such compunction. So loading it, which this one's already fully loaded, so I can only simulate, but loading it is just as easy as dropping it in and pushing it into the tube. That, quite honestly, as somebody from the military who trained on the Mossberg 590 series, that is a more comfortable method of loading a shotgun for me. On the Mossberg 500 series, it comes with a tang safety. Now on the Maverick 88, much like the Remington 870, it comes with a crossbar safety right in front of the trigger, with the Remington being right behind the trigger. Now, some of the things that frankly annoy me about the Remington is if you're a right-handed shooter, in order to rack that, if it's got an empty chamber, you have to reach forward of the trigger, depress the pump release, and then rack it, right? Kind of a pain in the ass. With the Mossberg series, and that kind of follows along with the Maverick 88, you can do that with your index finger right behind the trigger and rack it and then move straight onto the trigger to fire. Now, we're going to talk about a couple different loads here. And what we're going to start with is there are certain situations, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. This is some serious FUD lore, but I do truly believe in what I'm about to say. There are some situations where birdshot may actually be an advantageous option for you. And something like an apartment complex or extreme close quarters where you're worried about over penetration, sure, you could rock the Gucci Glock, something like HST rounds, hollow point, something that's low penetration, a lot less likely to penetrate through multiple layers of drywall and framing. However, you don't have 3 points of contact on a pistol, and it does take a lot more training with a sidearm in order to be effective with it, especially under duress, than it does with a shotgun. Again, there's caveats to everything. Shotguns do require a good amount of training and familiarity to be truly effective with them. They're not super easy to load on the fly without a lot of practice. They have a lot of recoil, and it can be a little bit daunting for introductory shooters to approach that. But after just a few sessions with a shotgun, you have a weapon that's 3 points of contact and a lot easier to get rounds on target than when you're mag dumping a pistol from close range in a complete panic, right? Let's be honest. For anybody who doubts my assertion that birdshot can be effective in extreme close range, let's go ahead and demonstrate real quick some of its capabilities. So this is for my birdshot haters. Do you enjoy having a nutsack? Let me introduce you to the Ballbuster 5000. Do you enjoy having eyes? Now let's look at this spread. Because I am racist against midgets, we decided to put this target a little bit lower than I had anticipated. So rather than the balls, we got them right in the gut. You can see the spread pattern up close is devastating. Same with the eyes. You are not walking away from this within 5 yards. I can tell you that much. It will be completely disabling, if not terminal. All right. So now that we've demonstrated the Ballbuster 5000, let's talk about some more conventional loads, right? We've got 2 3/4 inch buckshot, right? Double-aught buck. We've got 3-inch Magnum buck for if you really want to blow someone's leg off. We've also got stuff like Hornady's Heavy Magnum, right? So they come in different sizes with different amounts of balls in them. You know, some people want more balls in them than others, right? Now, if you are looking for a buckshot that has a lot less penetrative ability, but still delivers devastating terminal ballistics on target, number 4 buckshot is the way to go. You can look up extensive testing on it with other YouTubers who are more specialized in ballistic testing than I am and see that it's probably the way to go if you're working in close quarters. And then finally, you've got stuff like our American whitetail rifled slugs, right? For your big game or for when you really need to make sure that somebody dies, all right? I need you to like and subscribe my videos if anything that I've said resonates with you. And if you do vehemently disagree, make sure you farm that engagement a little bit. Come on, let me know how much you hate me in the comments below. That does help with the algorithm. I appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm going to stop yapping and we're going to go have some fun on the range with the shotgun. Shotgun me. Thank you. I've been shotgunned. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate the load that I recommended for home defense, which is going to be your number 4 buckshot. It's still going to have a pretty tight spread, but deliver devastating energy on the target. Now this is what you're looking at spread-wise. All of these small little holes. Consider the fact that each one of these is about the same size as a 5.56 millimeter round, right? And then you can see where the wadding penetrated through right here. A number 4 buckshot to the gut, through the human body, through their spinal column and out the other side is unlikely to penetrate through too much of the rest of the house if you're worried about over penetration. The next load we're going to shoot is going to be your double-aught buck. Double-aught has less pellets in it, but every pellet is slightly larger. Now imagine being shot by 9 .38 caliber pellets all at once at about 1200 FPS. That's a bad day. That's taking a chunk of you and throwing it on the floor, as Clint Smith would say. I don't think that the efficacy of the shotgun should be in question. And quite frankly, I don't think that it's fair to categorize everybody who chooses a shotgun for their defensive needs as a poor or a FUD. We are, after all, one community, and we need to support each other. The FUDs and the tactical bros and the competition shooters and the LARPers need to come together, because together we are strong, and divided, we will fall. So the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna load up the 870 with a bunch of double-aught buck, maybe a bunch of rifled slugs. I like to keep my videos true to form, and I like to finish out my day with a little bit, quick little run and gun, no big deal. So let's get it. Cameraman, are you ready? All right, let's go. All right, so as you can see, our targets are sufficiently dead, and I am covered in alien blood, all right, arachnid blood from the movie Starship Troopers. And I think that, let me catch my breath. I'm a little bit overweight, all right, I'm working on it. And I think that what that demonstrates is the devastating potential of shotguns up close and personal. So I'm gonna go get all this bug blood off me, and this has been Sector 7. Welcome back.